and welcome. I am Melanie Clampit, the owner of Studio B right here in Napa, California. And I'm here with you to have a conversation with Dr. Adriana Popescu. And we're going to be inviting you to a special event that we have on January 21st. It's the very first event in a series called Visionary Voices. And Dr. Adriana is someone that I have seen creating beautiful impact in the world with the vision for what she would like to see. And this is one of the reasons I created Studio B in the first place, was to have a space where we could reach out to the community, come together to look at new ways of creating our lives and creating the world in the way that we would actually like to see it. And Dr. Adriana is someone that I am really excited for you to meet. So, Adriana, will you please introduce yourself and tell everyone a little bit about you?
Yeah, thanks so much, Melanie. So happy to be with you today and to be part of this really fun event that's part of your vision and what you're trying to create. So I am a licensed clinical psychologist. I specialize in treating addiction and trauma, and I'm also an empowerment coach. Which means I work a lot with empowerment, whether it's actually therapy or coaching or whatever, workshops or the books that I've participated in, one of which is this one, which is the subject of our event we're going to be having. But really, when I look at like what I am wanting to create in the world, I'm really wanting to empower people to become more conscious of the way that they see themselves in the world and to recognize that they can actually change that. So really, I think the theme of this book, What If You're Not As Effed Up As You Think You Are? How we come to believe lies about ourselves and what we can do to change them, is really an overarching theme of the work that I'm doing in general. It's like I want to educate people on how we come to believe these really distorted things about ourselves, which generally are very negative. It's usually things along the lines of, I'm not enough, or I'm unlovable, or nobody likes me, everyone's against me, I'm a loser, I'm a failure. I mean, on and on and on. All these ways in which we see ourselves in this very negative light, which really then holds us back from what we're able to create, right? Because your point of view creates your reality. And if you have a point of view about yourself that's very negative, you're not going to be able to create a lot. You're going to have a lot of trauma and drama. You're going to have limits to like how successful you might be able to be just because you believe that it's not possible or you don't believe in yourself. And so in my work, I'm really looking at the origin of these beliefs, what they are, where did they come from, and then how do we change them? And when I decided to write this book, it was really looking at how can we change core false beliefs with a variety of different modalities. Because I, of course, started with traditional psychotherapy, things like cognitive behavioral therapy, looking at how your thoughts create your emotions, which then lead to your behaviors. And that's fine. And there's many more modalities. I really got into energy psychology work about 23 years ago. About 12 years ago, I got into this body of work where we met called Access Consciousness. And my own process has continued to evolve. And so I've taken kind of the best of what I've learned and what I've found to be most effective, both on my own journey and in facilitating clients who are struggling with various issues, to really empower them with these tools to change the way they're thinking so that they can change what they're creating in life.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And it's so in alignment, with what the studio's purpose, I would say, in the world is. So we're gonna be able to have Adriana with us right here in Napa. We're gonna do a Visionary Voices author spotlight. So thank you for letting us know, what inspired you to write the book. When did the book come out?
About a year ago. So at the end of 2022, after a long haul, boy, is book writing a process. Yes, the book was released at the end of 2022. Last year, mid-year, we did a second book launch for the ebook, and coming soon, we'll also be releasing the audio book. So if in general people want to find out more about this book, they can go to, we have a website for it called whatifyou'renot.com. It's of course on Amazon. It's on my publisher's website called Recovery Bookstore. And it isn't just for people in recovery from drugs and alcohol. I think this book is for anyone who's curious about maybe considering the possibility that they may not, in fact, be as fucked up as they think they are.
I love that title.
Yeah.
When I've been, sharing this event with people and I let them know, like, we have this amazing woman coming. She's the author of this phenomenal book called What If You're Not as Effed Up as You Think You Are? And it's really wonderful to see people sort of go, oh, like wait, I wasn't expecting that.
Exactly. Well, I needed to have a bit of a controversial, cheeky kind of title, but it does capture the spirit of, kind of my spirit, because I am a challenger. I'm not someone who's willing to accept the status quo. In the book, I reference Don Miguel Ruiz, who wrote, the Four Agreements, the Fifth Agreement, and he talks about in his books the domestication of the human. And he even references the term we use when we domesticate wild horses, and you know what that term is. Yeah. Breaking. We break the horse. We break his spirit in order to get him to do what we want. And I feel like we as beings come into this world as little wild spirits, free and joyful and happy, and then we're broken. We're broken down, and we're broken into being programmed into a system that has us doubting ourselves, that has us playing small. Don't be the tall poppy syndrome, right? Don't dare be taller than the other poppies because you're going to get cut down. And I just see how much suffering, to me, looking at whatever a person is struggling with, anxiety, depression, it almost always comes back to some kind of limiting belief that they formed, usually very early in life, that isn't even true, is based on a child's logic. For example, kids who get neglected, let's say mom, dad isn't really available for them, and they come to believe, well, I'm unlovable because my mom never paid attention to me. As a little kid, you don't understand. Maybe mom has mental health issues. Maybe mom's got an addiction to something. Maybe mom is not really equipped to be a mom, but because she's not acting in the way you see maybe your friends' parents act, you think it must be me. It must be my fault, right? That my mom is not paying attention to me, and therefore I'm a bad person. I'm not enough. And then they carry that through life, and then they, put that energy out in the world, because your point of view creates your reality. And then they'll attract people, places, and things that are going to mirror back the truth of that belief. And then, and then they get to say, oh, see, look, another failed relationship. It's because I'm unlovable, right? And then it gets reinforced over and over again. So the book is meant to kind of lay out that framework and then give people, like, it's also kind of like a book workbook combined, because every chapter at the end of it has tools, and I take you through exercises to be able to start to question those beliefs and shift the energy around them using like this whole wealth of tools from traditional and more holistic based methods. And what I want to do in this event is give people an opportunity to do like a little mini workshop, give people a tool, do a little bit of facilitation, and of course discussion around like, well, how can we really create this kind of change, and how do these beliefs actually hold us back from having a life of infinite possibilities? Because you and I both know that that's possible, but we're the ones standing in our way. It's not your external circumstances that's stopping you. It's usually your own way of seeing things that is holding you back.
Yes. So this isn't just going to be a book event where there's going to be readings from the book, and some, sort of light contemplative conversation. This is a transformational journey. And I think from everything that you said and everything I know about you, Adriana, it's everything that you do has that transformational component to it.
Yeah.
It's inviting people to step into a catalytic transformational space that we're going to be able, and this is what it is I'm looking to create with these Visionary Voices events, whether it's an author or a speaker sharing their personal story. It's being able to receive a different point of view that we never thought or considered possible for us. Yeah. And to not just have it as a concept, and that's what I love about what you're saying is it's not just a concept, it's something we're going to talk about, get an understanding to feed the mind. But then we're also going to give tools.
Yeah.
Where you're going to give tools where you're like, cool, and this is how you apply it in your life.
Yeah.
So that it goes from the idea to, oh, I can actually have this and live this in my life.
Yeah. And I think doing that in a shared space, you're spot on, Melanie. And I think doing it in a shared space with other people where there's a willingness to maybe open up a little bit and share, is to recognize like, wow, maybe like I'm not alone in this, right? Because so often we don't want to share about like the horrible way things we think, our inner critic and all the awful things they say to us. Like we don't often want to, share that stuff because we're trying to maintain this like persona of like, oh, I got it all together. But I think when we gather together and there's a shared space and a safe space to have these conversations, and you realize, oh my God, you're feeling that way too. Oh my God, I can't imagine. You're amazing. How could you possibly think these terrible things about yourself? That in and of itself, I think contributes to the collective. When we gather together and we have a collective energy we can generate, like how much more does that magnify the effect of change, and how much can we support each other in changing when we gather as a group? I think there's real power in that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
So I want to tell you guys a little bit more about what the event is actually going to entail. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be January 21st at 11 a.m. and it's a 2-hour event, 11 to 1. And we're going to have some yummy it's an author spotlight and a little brunch. So there'll be little brunch snacks. We're also going to be having a non-alcoholic Bloody Mary. And I'm going to set up a little Bloody Mary station with all the fixings. Because why not include all of it? Right? Awesome. To let this be a gathering and not have it be a gigantic, significant event. You can come as you are. And that's one of the things that I really look to invite with Studio B is come as you are. You don't have to show up in a good mood. You don't have to be in a great space. You don't have to. It's okay. Whoever you are, walk in the door. There's space for you. Yeah. Included in the ticket, they're also getting a copy of the book, yes. Correct?
Yes, they get a copy of the book, signed copy. I'll be signing copies of the book. We'll do a little munching and networking, whatever. I don't like that term. Connecting, meeting new people. I'll be doing books, and then we'll move into like gathering, more as a group. I'm going to share a little bit about my story and kind of what's in the book. Maybe I'll read something out of it, and then we'll teach you guys a tool, and we'll experiment with it a little bit. And, hopefully you walk away with, if nothing else, a different perspective on yourself and a different perspective on what's possible. Because that's really, with everything that I'm doing, and I know you are too, Melanie, I think with all that we're creating, it really is in that spirit of empowering people to recognize that they have choice, that they know things, that even if they pretend or think they don't know them, they know things. They're capable of so much more. I want to see a greater world. Our world's a mess right now. I'd like to see a greater world out there, and that change starts with each one of us, as we work through our own limiting beliefs and traumas and whatever it is we've gone through, then we can be an energy that creates that change that we want to see in the world. So I very much feel, the kinship with folks like yourself who are also, I think, trying to create a different possibility for us and our planet.
Just giving that a moment. That's such a beautiful vision, and you're right. It is, something that we do share, and so many people in the world are right now. And like you said before, when we're willing to come together and, what is that? Wonder Twins.
Activate. Powers activate. Form
Yes.
up.
Joining together and helping other people wake up exactly to what it is then they know. And I love that your vision and my vision is empowering people to be able to live their vision
Yes.
and see the fruit of it
Mm-hmm.
now, and also know that we're planting seeds for the future.
Yes, exactly.
So,
Yeah, so we'd love to have you there. If you know of someone who'd be interested in this, please do pass it along. We'll put the links to where you can sign up. If you have any questions, you can, of course, DM Melanie or myself. We're all over the socials. So it's easy to get a hold of us. And truly, what else is possible for seeing yourself in a different way? And what if, in fact, you are not as effed up as you think you are? Thanks, Melanie. Thanks, everyone who's watching today. Hope to see you
yes, thank you, everyone. And thank you, Adriana. And I will see you soon.